And I'm Mary Beth.
Welcome to Turning Pages. Today we want to take some time and talk about some of the cliches that often appear in young adult writing. So if you're currently writing a project, maybe it would help you to recognize it in your own work. You could avoid it or minimize it, or just kind of be aware that these are the things that flood the market and that, agents and publishers and readers are kind of tired of seeing, right? So you want to start us off?
Let's talk about first, one thing that's very popular in young adult writing, and I'm guilty of it myself, is the absentee parent.
Yes.
There are many, many books out there where parents have died, or the parent just, my favorite is when the parent just isn't around. Mm-hmm. They're never home, they're not monitoring what their kid is doing, the kid can sneak out at all hours, there's no punishment, there's no whatever, they just, they're like an adult.
Right.
Like, we're 17, maybe 18, so I can act like an adult, but in the real world, that's not often how it really goes.
Especially nowadays, there's so much made of helicopter parenting. And look, the balance is this as the writer. Not everybody wants to read a story that's a parenting manual, right? So you have to find a way to have that character be as real as possible. And yeah, in certain cases, the parents are dead or not around, but they're still a factor and they still need to be addressed. So if the center of your story is functioning based on the fact that the child at 16 or 17 can maneuver through the world like a 35-year-old adult, then maybe you want to go back and say, how can I infuse, some parenting or an aunt or somebody looking out for that child? So the absentee parent, I think, has been overdone for sure.
While we're talking about our teenagers acting like they're 35 years old, check your vocabulary. I know everybody wants to have like the nerdy, super intelligent, I read
I know
Longfellow and whatever on a Friday night because I think it's fun kind of people. You want your characters to be believable. Right. And while those people may exist, I'm gonna say they're probably the minority. So if that's your person, then you better build them in a way that makes it believable that they were reading the dictionary at 3, that they've skipped classes, that they don't have friends because they stay home all the time and they study SAT words. Right. That kind of thing.
Having that character not be authentically that character's age lends itself to you as the author not having as much credibility, and then certainly that character doesn't have as much credibility. If the character is fully matured and fully grown, where's the arc of the story? So there tends to be, and I think, I've noticed it in some of the work, particularly like Fault in Our Stars with, in some of John Green's stuff, where he is brilliant. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. But you have to have characters that react like 16 and 17-year-olds would react and communicate like 16 and 17-year-olds would react. Now, you can certainly have your brainiac character, but if that's the voice that the story is being told in, you might need to kind of pare down some of that vernacular that you're using.
Agreed.
The love triangle. And I'm guilty of this. Guilty. Because nothing builds tension. Like, he likes me, but he likes me, but I kind of like him, but, and that is a very teenager-y thing. Yes. To have multiple suitors and, but if the function of the plot is predicated or is based on this love triangle working or not working out, then maybe you're not building it as much as you should build it, because that love triangle has been so overdone.
You know what hasn't been done? If you really want to put a love triangle in, don't have your main character get with any of them. The love triangle really flooded, the system when Twilight came out.
Sure.
Because the whole, my opinion on why Twilight did so well is because Bella was just this bland,
generic
character that any of the readers could put themselves in her place. Mm-hmm. And what teenage girl or adult
girl, worked for teenagers and it worked for women,
wouldn't want to be the object of desire of two really, good-looking characters who worshipped her. Not just like teenage crush, but like, I'm gonna kill myself because I can't be with you, kind of
all or nothing
romance, So, I think people still like a good love triangle, but try to make it a little different.
Let it have some layers to it.
Make one a female character and one a male character.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's been done, but it hasn't been done as much as the other. You know, just change it up a little.
And that kind of leads into the other thing that I wanted to talk about with regards to the romantic angle. You know, you've got these characters that are written as like so bad and I don't like him and he's so following me around and being mean to me. And then the next thing you know, they're madly, passionately in love. Yeah, there's a thin line between love and hate when you're a teenager, certainly. But that insta-love from, you know, really no foundation has been overdone and overdone and overdone.
And I understand, in real life, teens have crushes and they think, you know, he's the one, and if it doesn't work out, your life is over, and I get that, because we went through that, you know.
Sure.
But I find in a lot of stories, it's just so over-dramatic that it's completely unbelievable.
Yes.
Okay, so just, you know, reread some things and find ways to make it realistic so that your reader can relate and be like, oh yeah, that happened to me.
Right.
You know, so.
I think when it comes to the female character, one of the things that you find that's really overdone is, I'm not that beautiful. I'm just, you know, yes, nobody who's a teenager, well, some of them do, but, you know, if you're in that inner monologue, you know, let the character have some level of self-awareness, but if you're trying to convince the reader the character's not that attractive, then make the character not that attractive.
Right.
Don't, you know, really kind of stay true to the authenticity of what you're going for. Don't use reverse psychology on your readers. I think that's one of the, you know, biggest pet peeves of.
And there was, you know, that's been going on for a while. What is that movie? She's All That?
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, if all it takes for your character to be beautiful
is
to take her glasses off and put a little makeup on, then she was always beautiful.
Right.
So, you know, and beauty really does come from within. So be different. Make your character, you know, plain Jane or different.
Right.
Or, you know, we're going to have a discussion in another video about diversity in your characters from, you know, color, creed, disability, whatever, because I think that's another important topic, but we'll get to that. You know, they don't all have to look like models, because teens have zits and greasy hair and they don't want to get up early and go to school. So everybody does not go to school looking like they're going to walk down the runway.
Right.
It's not real life.
No. And I think at the end of the day, the problem with a cliche is that overdrawn, you know, drawn out, beat up, tired expression that after a while starts to lose its meaning. So I guess the biggest lesson here would be, if you are suffering from any of these cliches, what can you do to kind of clean it up, make it fresh, make it new, so that it still works for you and it works for your story, and that it's not something that the agents and the publishers and the readers are very tired of.
Right. You don't want your, you know, agents or your readers, if it gets to that level, to pick up your book and read a couple of pages and be like, I feel like I read this before.
Yes. And that's a dangerous, you know, place to be.
Because I've done that and put books down.
Right.
Like, this sounds very familiar. Maybe I did read it and forgot, so I put it aside.
Right.
And then I never get back to it because my to-be-read pile is very large. Yes.
But we would love to hear, what are some of your cliches that you noticed? Did we miss any?
What's your biggest pet peeve cliche? I want to know. Let us know.
Leave us a comment and we'll get back to you.
And keep turning those pages, literati.
Bye.
Next time.
Next time.